Hi there, welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here, Tandy Rivera, Sydney Moore, and a cast of thousands. Lots going on. We have lots to talk about weather-wise. We see some changes coming up.
Fall changes.
Fall changes for the better, so we'll get to that in just a
Which is good news for me, at least.
Very nice and
Because
comfortable.
fall is my favorite season.
Me too.
It's good news for everybody. We want to get out of like humidity and 90 degrees.
Get
for
it
sure.
out of here.
All right, we are going to check on that fall forecast in just a minute. But first, on the 4 to 5 this evening, this is what we're going to talk about. It is finally back to school day for Alamance Burlington schools.
Yeah, after a 2-week delay because of mold, families got the all clear. WFMY News 2's Hannah Jeffrey spoke with parents as they were dropping their kids off. Hannah.
Yeah, that's right, Cindy. This scene behind me has been a long time coming. We're over here at Williams High School, and students have just let out from their very first day. Now, some of them are being picked up, others are waiting on their ride, but typically the first day of school comes with a lot of excitement, right? Parents are excited to take those back to school pictures, and students are excited to use their new school supplies, but several parents tell me it's just not the same this year. They just don't have that back to school feeling, and it's because of everything that's been going on these past few weeks. We've been following this story for a while, and over 6 weeks ago, when mold was first found at an ABSS elementary school, and since then, some degree of mold was discovered at 30 out of the system's 37 schools. While remediation efforts took place, the start of the school year was pushed back a few times. Shania Maynard's twins started their freshman year at Williams High School this morning. Considering the schedule changes and starting their first day of high school, Maynard says her kids were a little nervous.
You know what it's like to be like a new student. I'm like, oh, my babies, I feel so bad. And I only feel bad because we don't know what's going on. It's always better when you know. But it'll teach them for the future when something happens, how to problem solve.
Now, with school taking place at a later date, there will have to be additional changes made to the calendar. The school system says they'll take another look at the calendar this week. For now, live in Burlington, I'm Hannah Jeffries, WFMY News 2.
And of course, WFMY News 2 has been covering the mold issues at ABSS since the discovery last month. You can find all our reporting and stories within the community by visiting our website.
Today we remember one of the deadliest days in American history. 22 years ago today, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center and Pentagon, killing nearly 3,000 people. It's a day we all will never forget.
That is so very true. All across the country, ceremonies were held to remember the victims and the fallen heroes who put their lives on the line. This morning, thousands gathered at Ground Zero for New York's annual memorial.
Mourners gathered in Lower Manhattan to remember the thousands of lives lost in the September 11th terror attacks 22 years ago today.
James M. Amato.
Joseph Amatuccio.
In keeping with tradition, family members read aloud the names of loved ones who were killed.
My sister, Jody Tepedino Nicolo. We miss you, Jody. We love you. Your light still shines as bright as it ever did.
At the Pentagon, an American flag was unfurled, and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin took part in a wreath laying to honor the nearly 200 lives lost there.
The men and women of the Department of Defense will always remember.
And in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, relatives left flowers at the memorial wall for victims of United Flight 93. The plane crashed when passengers tried to overtake the hijackers. Back here in New York, the fire department, which lost 343 members that day, continues to lose members even now. First responders are dying from illnesses stemming from the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero.
World Trade Center illness is very real. We lose so many people to it, and early prevention and detection and treatment is key.
As family members grieve, they hold true to their enduring message to never forget.
Right here at home, several triad communities gathered to remember this day. Local students, families, and firefighters gathered at Eastern Guilford High to do the 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb, walking over 2,000 stairs to honor first responders.
Rockingham County deputies held a ceremony to remember victims and soldiers while also commending the work of first responders today. Sheriff Sam Page called for the public's commitment in keeping 9/11 alive.
Now let's look at the numbers out there for today. And it's been a little warm, but this is only a degree or two above normal, kind of fairly normal for us this time of the year. Now head east, different story. Raleigh-Durham at 88 degrees right now, Pinehurst at 87. Cool in the mountain communities. We have mid-70s for Galax and also around Boone and Asheville for that matter. 66 will be the low tonight, mostly clear skies. A couple of clouds tomorrow, we'll call it partly cloudy. A rain chance slips back in, although it's only about a 30% chance for your Tuesday. No big deal there. Across the region, not seeing much in the way of rain for now. You can see a little bit. It's generally unsettled across the area, but when you look at this, we are kind of in that muggy sector for the next day, right? Until that cold front gets here. Now you're looking at Tuesday afternoon. We go into Tuesday evening. Let's keep a 30% chance of a shower in. Again, the story here, though, as you look at this, you can still see that cold front moving through even Wednesday afternoon. Notice in the bottom right corner there of your screen, that's that hurricane moving back up the coast. Thank goodness that we have this cold front for two different reasons. One is it steers that storm out of here, and for us, it ushers in some fall air across the area. Here's what your 7-day looks like. We'll see partly cloudy skies to variably cloudy for Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll bring those rain chances up to about a 40% for both days, but temperatures drop, and boy, is it nice at the end of the week and through the weekend. 77 and partly cloudy Thursday, 76 Friday, and upper 70s Saturday and Sunday.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. A Winston-Salem man is in jail after police say he sexually assaulted an elderly woman at a business. It happened Sunday afternoon. Investigators say Byron Martin walked into a store in the Ronaldo Road area and sexually assaulted the woman while threatening her with a hammer. Police and K-9 units found him hours later. Martin is now facing felony charges, and he's being held on a $1 million bond.
And sticking in Winston-Salem, police are searching for a suspect in a deadly shooting. Investigators say someone shot and killed Javante Morrison on Burke Village Lane. It happened early this morning around 1. Police believe the suspect shot Morrison after they got into an argument. This is an active investigation.
Today, a Greensboro judge denied bond for a man accused of murdering a woman and kidnapping his 9-month-old son. Dion Monk is facing several felony charges. Officials say it all happened during a fight at the Claremont Apartments. After the shooting, investors say Monk left with his son, prompting an Amber Alert. Monk was arrested a couple of hours later in Harnett County with his son. He's expected back in court next month.
Community members and Triad law enforcement agencies are still mourning the loss of a Forsyth County Sheriff's deputy. Over the weekend, Deputy Austin Rudel-Huber died after being hit by a box truck in Davidson County. The truck's driver was arrested and charged. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office is placing a patrol vehicle in front of the detention center to honor him for his life and service. We'll be right back.
Well, we know America, they love their cooking shows, especially the ones where chefs are pitted against each other. Well, Sean Reeves, who's the chef and owner of Seal and Sco, a restaurant in downtown Greensboro, he knows firsthand what that feels like because he did just that. I caught up with him today to see how it all went down. Take a look. So excited when somebody local gets a chance to be on a national cooking competition show. And Sean, let's talk a little bit about that process because that must be a lot of pressure.
It was. I was on Chopped and the mystery box. It's, you know, you get this box of ingredients that all the chefs have no idea what's in it. You open it up and then you have to come up with a dish or dishes if you're lucky enough to advance.
So when they do that, so they give you the box and you look at it, how long do you have before? Is there a theme for the night or no?
So mine was just Southern. So and that was it. So the theme was Southern, and you figured it would be maybe some traditional or non-traditional Southern things, ingredients in the box. But you had about maybe 2-3 minutes.
Wow, that's it?
That's it.
Wait, to get started,
To get started.
And then how much time did you have to actually do your meal?
The first round was 20 minutes, and the last 2 rounds are 30 minutes.
And do you get a different box for each round?
Different box for each round.
Oh my gosh. So what about, talk about interacting with other contestants, because there's a lot of personalities, and if I know a TV show producer, they're trying to put people together that may not jive, you know, like how does that work?
Absolutely, they definitely were pushing, you know, the competitive, trash talking narrative amongst each other, but it was really good. I met 3 other wonderful chefs during the process, and they all really, you know, had their own contributions to bring to the competition. But it was really in good fun and good spirits that, you know, we were trying to get at each other a little bit.
And, you know, to do that is good for your restaurant, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was the reason I chose to do the Chop series. My wife is a huge, long-time fan of the show. Didn't really do cooking competitions so much, but because it would be such great publicity amongst the vast number of followers that they have for the show, I knew that it could really be a thing that trajected us to the next level with the restaurant here.
Well, and it's tomorrow night, right? We get
Tomorrow
to find out,
night.
because you can't say a word.
Can't say anything.
Nothing. I asked him, he won't tell me anything about it, so we all have to watch. Good luck, man.
Thank you so much.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So exciting.
So he cannot, I mean, when you talk about secrecy, I said, well, you could tell me. Because, you know, it's like, I won't say anything on here. Nope.
Nothing.
Won't say a word.
So I know they're having a watch party at Seal and Sco tomorrow night for it, and they're like, look, you can order some hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that, but don't even think that you're ordering dinner because we're all watching.
Let me tell you how busy they are, and I'm talking about on a personal level. So when I first did a story on their restaurant years ago when they first opened during the pandemic, I think they had a kid. Then they had a second one the next time I talked to them. Now they have 3, and she's pregnant with twins.
Oh,
wow.
They're going from 3 to 5.
They have a few mouths to feed. Did
Wow.
So Seal and Sco.
Right.
Support Seal and Sco.
Yeah.
It's a great
Right.
restaurant, though. It really is.
I love seeing folks here locally do great things like that. I mean, it's exciting. I'm sure folks are going to be excited to watch them, and that they're having a watch party. That'll even be more fun. So
Well, we're gonna-
exciting.
we'll
I just
see.
love the whole idea of you don't know what's in the basket and you have to do it on deadline, and it's a reality show, but nobody's mean to one another, and so I'm in with that because I don't want anybody to be mean.
No.
And usually producers in that type of a realm, they kind of want you to push the limit, but he said everybody got along, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Very
Super
nice.
fun. All right, we'll be right back.
Developing overseas right now, a devastating 6.8 magnitude earthquake has killed more than 2,000 people in Morocco, and they're saying that more than 2,000 people are injured besides, many of them in critical condition.
That's right. Rescuers from several countries are helping search for survivors. Now, new satellite images show the extent of the damage in Morocco. Last Friday's quake blocked roads, cutting off vital access to hard-hit remote villages in the mountains.
The Moroccan government has set up tents for those who have lost their homes, but survivors are saying that they need bread and water and that aid has been far too slow. President Biden addressed the disaster while in Vietnam visiting our allies.
I want to express my sadness by the loss of life and devastation caused by the earthquake in Morocco. Our thoughts and prayers with the people of Morocco and my friend King Mohammed VI, I should say, and my administration, including Secretary of State Blinken, who's here with me today, is working with Moroccan officials on long distance.
Well, the U.S. Embassy says a small number of Americans were injured in that quake, but there were no American deaths. A team of American disaster experts are in Morocco to determine how the U.S. can help with those humanitarian efforts.
We don't see much in the way of rain across the area right now. A couple of little sprinkles, really, at best, except in Surrey County. Got a little bit right along I-77 there in the southern parts of Surrey County. It's a moderate shower. Can't rule that out, though, as we head into the night. And we're seeing rain chances by tomorrow. We'll bump them up a little bit with the approach of a cold front. You can see it on the left side of your screen here. But as that gets closer, of course, we have a better chance. So we'll go with a 40% chance, probably for Tuesday and Wednesday. Notice that we're still in the muggy sector of all of this, right? And the winds coming along that cold front, they tend to parallel a front. So out of the southwest up to the northeast, and that brings in all the muggy conditions from the Gulf. That'll move across the area not only tomorrow, and this is tomorrow, but again on Wednesday as that front tries to push through, the rain chances go up a little bit. Look on the far corner of your screen. That is Lee moving back to the north. So good for us that this cold front is coming through. One, it introduces that fall air, which is never a bad thing. And then as that gets closer to us, it'll help steer that storm back to the north. Also some upper level currents doing that as well. If you look at futurecast across the area, again, those rain chances tomorrow about a 40%. Lee, it looks like, will be downgraded to a 1, moving just to the west of Bermuda by Friday and into Saturday. We don't have to worry about that. It's also very rare that we see our spaghetti models in such agreement. Usually these lines, each line represents a different mathematical model trying to predict the track. Look how tight they are. That means we have lots of confidence that this will be the track of the storm and it won't be anything for us to worry about. We'll have your 7-day forecast coming up in a bit.
Are you one of the many people that think cilantro tastes like soap? If this applies to you, it may be more than just your taste. The reason why it could be in your genes. Ariane Till verifies.
Cilantro is one of those herbs you either love or hate. For many of those haters out there, like me, cilantro tastes like soap. Many people believe genetics play a role. Verify viewer Jean texted us to ask if there is scientific proof. So we dug into the data of 3 scientific studies and spoke to Dr. Joanne Cole at the University of Colorado School of Medicine to verify. The answer needs context. Studies show that genetics, exposure, and geography all contribute to different perceptions of cilantro's taste. A study published in Chemical Sciences in 2012 tested the taste and smell of cilantro in 286 sets of twins. The study found that 3 genetic variations impacted how people experience cilantro. Genetics company 23andMe conducted a separate study in 2012 that found a 4th genetic variation which makes it more likely that cilantro will taste bad. But experts like Dr. Cole say more studies are needed to determine how much of an impact genetics play compared to other factors, like geography and exposure to the herb. A 2012 study from the Department of Nutritional Sciences at the University of Toronto collected data from more than 1,000 people from various ethnocultural groups to determine the geographical component of disliking cilantro. They found that the likelihood of disliking the herb varied widely between groups. The researchers noted that people from cultures who typically use cilantro in their cuisines, like Middle Eastern, Hispanic, and South Asian groups, dislike cilantro the least. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
I have never heard of this a day in my life.
Oh, really?
So that means it does not taste like soap to me.
It does not. You would know.
I'd never thought of that. I don't like it, but I don't mind it in like salsas and pico de gallo. And that,
I'm surprised that you
stuff.
can handle it at all if you just don't like it.
Yeah, because everything else
overpowers it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but if somebody puts it as a garnish and it's right there, I'm always pulling it off. But after I heard this tastes like soap, I'm like, it kind of does to me. That's why I don't really love it.
I put it on my chili today. I garnished it, and I like it.
Yeah, if I can
I put
mix
it on my
in there.
salad as well too, and
See, that's
it
too
never
much for me.
tastes. Oh, really? Oh, it's so good.
I don't mind it mixed in. I love salsa. Love salsa.
So, what kind of soap does it taste like?
I mean,
now I'm just like, what?
Lava, or
Dove,
or Ivory.
It's definitely Irish Spring. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. It has that bitterness to it that I don't love.
Yeah, I asked one of our producers, and I was like, "Have you ever tasted this? Does it taste like soap to you?" He was like, "No, but I've heard a lot of people say that it does." So that's my first time ever hearing that. Interesting.
I'd never heard that. I just don't like the bitter taste. That's all.
That's all right.
There we go. All right, it's 4:25. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric, Tanya, and Sydney with you today.
Yes, good
Monday.
afternoon to the both of you.
Yes, we are starting this Monday. We are starting this week. We are starting remembering because, of course, today marks 22 years since terrorists claimed the lives of nearly 3,000 people. All across the nation today, people have gathered to honor the victims and the heroes from September 11th.
Here at home, hundreds attended today's 9/11 ceremony in Randolph County. The community gathered at Eastern Randolph High in Grace Chapel Elementary to honor alumni Sandy Bradshaw.
Of course, she was the flight attendant on Flight 93, where she reported the hijacking using her cell phone. Bradshaw's mother praised Randolph County schools for highlighting her legacy.
It's very special that it's nice that they continue to do this every year. It means a lot to the family. And Sandy loved Grace Chapel. It was nice to come here today because the kids took a big part in the program. And well, at Eastern they do some also. But I was very impressed with with the children here and the things they did. It was very nice.
Ahead of today's day of remembrance, hundreds of people in Florida paid their respects to the fallen 343 firefighters who lost their lives racing to save the people trapped inside the Twin Towers. Orange County Fire Rescue hosted a ceremony which included the Heroes Challenge, putting rescue skills to the test.
It's Orange County Fire Rescue's 9th year putting on this 343 Hero Challenge consisting of CrossFit exercises and firefighter training skills. Many firefighters and volunteers taking part.
One of the reasons I became part of this is the tremendous impact not only it has on our firefighters, but our veterans and our community across the country.
I want to compete without any injuries.
For many, it was a family affair. For others, a reminder of why they became first responders. Ask Lieutenant Dave Coughlin. He's been with Orange County Fire Rescue for more than 18 years.
I was going to continue my career in hospitality, and then 9/11 happened, and I felt drawn to service, a career of service, and that was what brought me here. We raised money for two charities, the Children's Burn Foundation of Florida, as well as the Florida chapter of the Firefighter Cancer Support Network.
Meantime,
That's all we got. Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Before the 343 Hero Challenge, there was a ceremony honoring fallen firefighters, including the ringing of the bells.
The ringing of the bell signifies, in the beginning it was the start of the shift and the end of the shift, and then the last three is when a firefighter passes on, there's a ringing of the bell to notify that he has left the service.
A day we sadly will never forget.
Well, we look at readings out there for our forecast, and we're at 85 degrees. Not all that bad right now. We do heat that up a little bit toward the Sandhills and the coastal plain, right? 89 in Fayetteville, 90 in Wilmington, 86 Myrtle Beach, 91 in Charleston. In the mountains, though, very comfortable. Boone at 76 degrees. We'll get some of that cooler, lower humidity air sneaking in here over the next few days. We just have to get there. But end of this week and through the weekend is perfect weather for this time of the year. Hour by hour tonight, we'll be in the 70s by 8 p.m., probably around 2 a.m. into the upper 60s, and we think mid-60s, that's where we'll bottom out for our overnight low tonight, which means that'll be your forecast for tomorrow morning. A couple of sprinkles out and about, but really not very widespread. We're waiting for tomorrow when we can bring those rain chances up to about a 40%, courtesy of that cold front there. So as that front gets closer to us, and that'll be for Tuesday and Wednesday, that will pretty much be the dominant feature for our forecast, driving our forecast. It also helps to steer the hurricane that's out into the Atlantic away from us. High pressure to the north brings down more cooler and lower humidity fall air. We take that, right? We'll take that without question. 85 tomorrow, 82 Wednesday. Rain chances up a little bit, that 40%, but then it's all sunshine, clear, and fall air. 76, 77, that's for Friday and Thursday. This weekend, right around 79 both days. A slight rain chance Sunday, Monday, and cooler temperatures.
After several weeks of uncertainty, school is finally back in session for Alamance Burlington schools. Just this morning, students and their parents, they were welcomed back to the classroom. This comes nearly 2 months after mold was discovered at an elementary school in the district. The discovery prompted the district to close that school, clean it, and then test other schools to make sure that they were safe for students and staff. In the end, officials have confirmed 30 schools were impacted by mold. More than a dozen schools had toxic strains of mold. With all of the schools now cleaned and cleared, the district is now ready.
Going forward, our Alamance Burlington School System Board of Education will be meeting with the county commissioners later this month to establish some long-term solutions. And that's going to be bringing in roofing experts, HVAC experts, and even looking at dehumidification for all of our buildings. Obviously, we live in a very humid area. You've seen where other school systems nearby have had to shut down schools because of the humidity and HVAC issues. And we have been faced with similar concerns here. So we're going to have to look at long-term solutions to keep this from happening again.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. Walmart is changing its pay structure for new hires. Now, entry-level workers across departments, whether they be cashiers or stockers, for example, will make the same starting pay. Certain higher skilled roles such as bakery, automotive, and deli employees will still receive higher wages. The retail giant says the changes will not result in pay cuts for current employees and won't affect the company's minimum $14 per hour wage.
Vaccines for the upcoming flu season. They're showing promise in fighting the illness. Early data from 5 South American countries during their flu season shows the vaccines reduced flu-related hospitalizations by 52%. While there's no guarantee that what happens in the southern hemisphere will be replicated here, the CDC says the vaccines could provide similar protection in the U.S.
3 of the 5 Republican candidates running in the 2024 race for North Carolina's governor will debate tomorrow night. Current State Treasurer Dale Folwell, former Congressman Mark Walker, and former Health Plan CEO Jesse Thomas will go head-to-head on hot topics. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson and former State Senator Andy Wells are also in the race but have decided to skip the discussion. The debate starts at 6 tomorrow night in Cary, hosted by the Wake County Republican Party. WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe will be there to bring you the takeaways.
Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is expected to visit the Triad this week. Friday, she is scheduled to speak in Greensboro at North Carolina A&T. The appearance is a part of her Fight for Our Freedoms college tour. Michael Regan, the acting administrator for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, plans to join her for this tour. He is also an A&T alum.
Well, check this out. Vanilla Ice himself was spotted dining at 66 Restaurant in Thomasville. This happened last Thursday. It's likely he stopped there to get some food before his concert in Alton, Virginia. Cheyenne Marshall, one of the servers, says he was a very humble and nice guy who treated everyone with respect. Server says he cracked some jokes and even spoke to the cooks in the back. What a cool surprise.
Dun, 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 dun. That's all I can think of. Yeah,
Hey, yo,
Yeah,
kick
not
it.
to think about
I
it.
remember, well, what was funny today was the subject line of the email that someone sent out in the newsroom said, "Stop, collaborate, and listen." And I love that.
That's a good one. That's a good
like
one.
it.
Love that. I remember when he was a huge deal when he first came out.
Oh, for sure.
Very big.
Yeah, I know the folks that work there were pretty excited
Oh,
to see
yeah.
him for sure. And always.
Did he
But
sing?
surprise.
Did he break out?
I wonder if they asked him to sing and he said yes or no. I don't
Did
know. I
anybody
don't know.
play the music?
I'm
Did he
sure-
dance?
I can imagine people maybe just singing, maybe
Yeah,
singing
with
this.
him or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
for sure.
That's fun. Anytime somebody like that stops at a restaurant, do you remember back when Simon from American Idol came by?
Oh,
And
no.
he was at Jake's Diner at the corner,
Oh.
Jack's Diner, whatever
So
it is.
I always wonder, like, if that happened to you, would you recognize the person? Would you know that that was the person?
I would. I'm pretty aware of my surroundings.
I think
would
I might.
recognize-
Well, depending on what they're
If
wearing.
They might have on sunglasses
Yeah.
too. That might be a thing, or a hat. But I feel like I would.
The funniest line I heard that he said, he goes, "What is a grit?"
Oh, what
What-
is
one
grit?
One grit.
It's
He
like
said,
my cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
Right? I'll have
a
a
grit. All right, we're coming back. Stay there.
What's up, man? Mic check, Jalen. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, welcome back. Week 1 of the 2023-2024 NFL season is almost in the books, and while many fans were happy to see the return of football, some Carolina Panthers fans are waking up frustrated.
Yeah, of course, because the team lost their first
Right.
official game of the year to the Atlanta Falcons, the score 24-10. And since we are the official home of the Carolina Panthers, we're going to find out what did they say about that. Jalen Gilkey.
Yeah, Tanya, Sunday, we finally got to see what this revamped Carolina team would look like on the field. And unfortunately for Panthers fans, the new coach, the new quarterback, and the new veterans in the locker room looked like the same old Panthers in week 1. The Panthers offense struggled to put points on the board, and Bryce Young didn't show much, making 2 late throws over the middle that were both picked off by Wake Forest alum Jesse Bates. Young finished the day with only 146 yards passing, including a touchdown to Hayden Hurst in the second quarter, as the Panthers fall to 0-1 on the year. But we can't dwell on yesterday for too much longer, because now it's time to move to Monday night's matchup against the New Orleans Saints.
Ran the football well. Thought the O-line played well. Thought the O-line protected well. We had some pressure later in the game. When we get in that pass mode, they ran a couple stunts. But for the most part, I thought the protection was good. I thought we were, subpar in the pass game in general. As far as chunk plays, we need more explosive plays.
And if the score wasn't bad enough, third-year corner J.C. Horn went down with a hamstring injury right before halftime for Carolina as well. Now, watching that game yesterday, it was a little rough, but as to be expected, new coach, new quarterback, new offensive scheme and everything. But I had a couple takeaways from yesterday's game. The wide receiver core struggles. We had no wide receiver with more than 2 catches. Hayden Hurst led the team in receptions with 5 and the touchdown. We had no passing plays over 14 yards in total. And my number one takeaway from the day is we got to pay that man Brian Burns his money. Have to pay him his money. He did everything right. He held in. He participated during offseason and training camp and mini camp and was always there, that consummate leader. Frank Wright spoke about that today as well. But we got to get him paid because he's the best man on the 53 roster. It's not even close. Best player by far. And he had an immediate impact those first half when the game was still close. Big sacks, 1.5 sacks, a couple tackles for loss, 7 tackles on the day. So let's get Brian Burns paid and get everything else figured out.
And they come out of the gate and they score. Yeah. Then they forced Atlanta with a 3 and out to get the ball back, and I was like, all right, here we go. And then just
didn't go
after that.
Did not go.
I do think Bryce Young you got to give that guy a little slack, right? His first game, and he's still he's figuring out everything, but he's got a good heart. You hear him talk, he takes it personally.
Absolutely. He loves the game. He seems to love his teammates and care about the outcome on the field. So that's what we can ask for, step 1 with the starting quarterback. But now we just keep him upright, get him some guys to give him the ball to. We'll be all right.
He's got to quit hanging in that pocket so long, too.
Yeah, I think he had some good throwaways. Maybe could have ran a little bit more than what we saw yesterday, but it wasn't a lot of options. Wasn't a lot of guys open. So we got
that can make it tough.
Yeah, make it real tough.
All right, how about we get some optimism for the Panthers fans? All right, they are a lock to win the NFC South according to a corgi. I mean, hey, you got to take what you got to take and manifest it, right? You might recognize this dog from social media. During the NBA Finals earlier this year, the corgi struck gold with its predictions, and now they're testing the NFL. The corgi has Tampa Bay finishing last, the Falcons 3rd, the Saints 2nd, and the Panthers ending the season at the top. I'm just saying, let's
take what you can get.
Say it into the universe, and you never know what will happen.
Rock on, little corgi.
That's so cute.
Yep. That was pretty great. I think Tampa was my surprise of the day, though. They went up to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Took care of business convincingly. Defense looked strong. Baker and the offense looked a lot more explosive than I thought. So, hey, you never know. But
it's tough getting on the road sometimes because you're going against the crowd as well, too. When a lot of folks are out and you're going against and being all in that atmosphere as well, too.
It.
So it can be tough when I'm thinking about the Falcons, too.
I love it when we get quarterbacks and they leave and they do well somewhere.
That's don't you love to see that? Make you feel good about yourself.
It does, very confident. All right, let's talk about this, Jay. The Saints, so
we got Monday night. We got a fresh start, first home game of the year. First Monday night football game in Charlotte since 2019 as the Saints come rolling into town. We got a division game. Hopefully we can straighten things out, put some points on the board. Let's do it.
Let's do that.
I'm ready for it. All right, we'll take a break. Coming back.
Tick-tock. I don't even have a tick-tock clock in my house, but I swear I hear this sound when I wake up in the middle of the night and I cannot go back to sleep. And I tell myself, really, I can survive on just a few hours, right?
So the myth of getting by on less sleep in any sort of long-term way is just that. It's a myth. We are biologically hardwired to crave sleep, and there are a number of reasons why sleep is so important for a healthy body and a calm mind.
All right, so you need sleep, friends. You can't say I can get by with like 4 hours. Do you get enough sleep?
I mean, you can get through the day, but I am a horrible sleeper. Went to bed early last night, woke up at 2:30, didn't go back to sleep till 5:30. Hate those nights.
Yeah, I do the best I can. I
Me too.
can't say that I get like 8 hours or so. I do the best I can.
And the time change is coming, right? So that messes up a lot of people's like sleep patterns, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you travel, if you're going to a different time
Oh, yeah.
zone or something like that, that can really mess up your sleep, you know, all that. So the doctor says the answer to all that is something he calls sleep banking.
And what this means is we want to oversleep as a preparatory or preventative mechanism. If you know that you're traveling abroad across multiple time zones, or if you know that you're going to have a major project due next Monday and have a busy weekend, one of the strategies that we employ is sleep banking. Sleep is just like putting money in the bank.
So take the extra sleep. Now, I think it's interesting because usually when we're gearing up for a busy week, right, like what he was talking about, or let's say like a holiday weekend, right, we push ourselves to get through, right? We got to wrap gifts, we got to do this, we got to do that. So we're staying up later. We don't bank the sleep. We do that thing and then we're way tired, right? And then we're even in more of a sleep deficit.
So have you ever done the sleep banking
No, but I'm going to
strategy?
try it because if he says sleep more, I'm going to try and sleep more.
It's hard for me to push myself to sleep more. What were you going to say, Eric?
No, I can't. I've been a horrible sleeper my whole life, even as a kid.
Yeah. What is it you think for you?
Can't stop thinking. You know, like if I wake up, I can feel, like last night, 2:30, and I woke up and I could feel it. I was like, I'm up.
I'm just distracted by different things, whether it's just reading or just maybe I'm glancing on something on my phone or I'm watching a show. But I'd like to say my number one distraction is a book. So,
okay.
Well, that's
and I was
not
about to say,
horrible.
what do you do to help you fall asleep?
The sleep
You might
noise
read the
thing.
book, right?
Yeah, I read the book, but I still stay up reading the book. So I'm like, I don't know if it's helping me.
I do brown noise on the Alexa.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good one
That
too.
helps. Sometimes I listen to a podcast. Somebody's like, voice, if it's, kind of like the same kind of repetitive thing, it can help me go to sleep.
Knock you out.
A very common thing, someone will say, I'm going to have a glass of wine to relax, put myself to sleep, right? Which is in part true. It will help you go to sleep, but the doctor says it won't keep you asleep.
Alcohol does is it changes the way our brain oscillates in and out of deeper and shallower stages of sleep. So I'm sorry to disappoint our audience, but when you enjoy, or if you choose to enjoy a glass of wine, make sure you give yourself a buffer zone and your sleep will thank you for it.
Well, let's talk about our forecast, and rain chances for tomorrow. We'll bring this up to about a 40% chance for your Tuesday. This is Tuesday evening. You see some pretty heavy showers possibly developing there. We'll go with that 40% for not only Tuesday, but also Wednesday. The good news is on the other side of that front that moves through. Hey, we've got some cooler air coming in. 85 and 82 Tuesday, Wednesday with those late day shower chances, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mid to upper 70s, all sunshine. It's beautiful. Even heading into Sunday and Monday, we do have a slight rain chance slipping in, but it's only a 20% and a high temperature of 80 for those 2 days.
Thank you. Can money buy happiness? That's the question of the day. Some say yes and others say no. We connect the dots.
A new study shows there's a direct relation between how much you make and how happy you are. A salary in the ballpark of $105,000 a year is enough to make the average person happy. That number is well above the median income for folks here in the U.S., which is about $70,000. It's important to note the number depends on where you live. Here in Charlotte, it's a bit higher at $112,000 a year. But studies show it's not necessarily how much you make that determines how happy you are, but rather how you spend it. Researchers say people are usually a lot happier when they spend money on things like experiences and social connections instead of material goods. Of course, money isn't the only key to happiness. In fact, no matter how much money you make, scientists agree, what you use your money on is not as important as who you spend it with. And that is connecting the dots.
Yeah, spending it, with someone, I can definitely see that, whether it's trips or even getting birthday gifts or gifts for people that you enjoy makes me happy.
Makes you
as
happy.
well, too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tanya believes this. My wife says, I don't care about things, I want experiences.
Yeah, me too. That's how I like to spend my money, is experiences for sure.
Traveling, all that fun stuff.
Or doing something that we haven't done before or whatever, even if it's just like locally, it doesn't matter.
If it's something for all of us to do, I love that. Like I love when the whole family goes somewhere.
I do like going to new restaurants that I've never gone to either, and spending it on food that I've never tasted before. That's a fun experience. You can't say no to food, right?
No.
And then you make the PB&J later for the rest of the week. And that's okay.
That's
because
fine.
you chose to do that, and that's all right.
That's right.
And that is all right.
Sacrifice here, have fun there. Yep, that's the way
right.
it works. We'll be back.
Mr. Brett, 1, 2, 3. Country roads, we are fine. Everything's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hi, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico.
Hi, Brett. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Parents and students finally breathe easy in Alamance Burlington schools. The mold is cleaned up and life is getting back to normal. After 52 days of uncertainty, it was so nice on the Good Morning Show today to see students cheer with excitement about finally returning to school. While they set out of the classroom for 2 extra weeks, we all learned a lesson. No matter how bad things get, the only option is to pull yourself together, tackle the problem, and move on. For a while there, every single day, it seemed like the situation kept getting worse for the school system. From one school with mold to 5 to 16 to 30, It would have been easy for school leaders to panic and shut down, maybe even go remote for a month or two to buy more time. But through it all, the school system kept their focus on moving forward, solving the problem. Sure, there are a lot of questions still out there about how it got this bad in the first place and how to make up for all that money they had to spend fixing things. But the most important part is that they did fix it. The next time I face a tough challenge in life, I'm going to remember the school system. If they can find a way out of this mess, we can all make it out of ours. That's my 2 cents. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
We are following 2 big stories today. Alamante's Burlington schools returned to the class after weeks of mold removal across the district.
Today also marks 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Communities across the nation, including right here in the Piedmont Triad, honored the lives lost, including a Triad woman.
Now let's start with ABSS. We've got